Senate will come to order. Mr. Carpenter, will you please call the roll?
Senators Aguilar,
Excused.
Baumgardner, Cook, Coram, Court, Crowder, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Garcia, Gardner, Guzman, Hill, Holbert, John, Jones, Kagan, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lumberg, Marble, Martinez-Huminick,
Oh, I'm sorry, excused.
Merrifield, Moreno, Neville, Priola, Scott, Smallwood, Tate, Todd, Williams, Zenzinger, President Grantham.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excused.
Mr. President.
I am here, Mr. Carpenter, with 32 present, 0 absent, and 3 excused. We indeed have a quorum. Senator Gardner, would you please lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask all of our friends in Channel 165 to join us this morning from your living room and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Senator Smallwood, for a motion. Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that
There is an amendment on the desk. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read the amendment?
Amendment to the Journal.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, I would like to take a moment this morning and do a slightly uncommon practice of amending the Journal. If you guys would like to read this amendment, it just strikes Senator Finberg from the Journal so that it will not reflect that he was committee chair of the whole. And I ask for your support.
Yes, Senator Finberg is not even here to. Senator Finberg, would you like to respond? We okay? The motion before us, Senator Finberg. Senator Finberg.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like a...
Thank you for the $5 to the Senate fund. Senator Finberg, let's try that again.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like a, maybe an explanation about this amendment. It's quite concerning to my character. And I would just hope maybe one of the senators in this chamber could explain.
Senator Donovan?
Mr. President, upon further reconsideration, I'll withdraw this amendment.
The amendment has been withdrawn. Senator Smallwood for an actual motion.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the Journal of Thursday, February 1st, be dispensed with and the Journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. Is there any objection? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. Committee reports.
February 1st, 2018, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 64 be postponed indefinitely. February 1st, 2018, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 63 be postponed indefinitely. February 1st, 2018, Committee on Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Energy. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 42 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations. February 1st, 2018, Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 93 be amended as follows. As amended, be referred to the Committee of the Whole. The favorable recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. February 1st, 2018. Committee on Education. After consideration of merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 85 be amended as follows. As amended, be referred to Committee on Appropriations with a favorable recommendation. February 1st, 2018, Committee on Education. After consideration of merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 12 be referred favorably to Committee on Appropriations. February 1st, 2018, Committee on Finance. After consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 77 be amended as follows. As amended, be referred to Committee on Appropriations with a favorable recommendation. February 1st, 2018, Committee on Finance. After consideration of merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 73 be amended as follows. As amended, be referred to Committee of the Whole with a favorable recommendation.
Senate Services.
Correctly engrossed, Senate Bill 67, 76, and 105.
Introduction of resolutions.
Senate Joint Resolution 4 by Senator Sonnenberg and Fields and Representative Lawrence concerning the designation of February 4th as Missing Persons Day in Colorado.
Third reading of bills consent calendar. Mr. Majority Leader. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for immediate consideration of Senate Joint Resolution 4.
Motion is to move for immediate consideration of resolutions. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senator Fields.
Good morning, President Pro Tem. No?
That's okay.
Morning,
Senator
Mr.
Fields, you just
President.
work on this. We're fine.
Good morning, Mr. President. I'd like to I'm moving Senate J.R. 18004 resolution and ask that it be read at length.
Mr. Carpenter.
Senate Joint Resolution 4 by Senators Sonnenberg and Fields and Representative Lawrence concerning the designation of February 4th as Missing Persons Day in Colorado. Whereas each year, hundreds of thousands of families are faced with what President Ronald Reagan called the stark terror of a unique tragedy, a missing family member. And whereas every 40 seconds, someone goes missing in America. Approximately 2,300 Americans are reported missing every day, and there are as many as 90,000 active missing persons cases in the United States at any given time. And whereas in 2016, the FBI's National Crime Information Center logged 647,435 missing persons reports. By December 31st, 2016, the FBI reported 88,040 active missing persons in the United States, with almost half being juveniles under the age of 21. And whereas children and adults go missing from their families for a number of devastating reasons. They run away or wander and become lost. They disappear under circumstances indicating that their disappearance may not have been voluntary, or they go missing under suspicious circumstances indicating that they may be in physical danger or the victims of foul play. And whereas, in 2002, Colorado Governor Bill Owens signed House Bill 02-1083, establishing the AMBER, America's Missing Broadcast Emergency Response Alert Program in Colorado, named after 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, who was abducted and killed in Texas in 1996. The program ensures that local law enforcement agencies can use the emergency alert system in Colorado to broadcast information to alert citizens of missing children. And whereas, since 1996, Amber Alerts have successfully recovered 800 children nationally. And whereas, for all the important work done to recover missing children, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children reported on its website in 2016 that 465,676 missing child reports were made to law enforcement in 2016, and that the organization lists 84 missing Coloradan children from every area of the state. Though all disappeared from their families when they were children, some have been missing for decades. And whereas, while too many families grieve and hope for their missing children, Others are in search of their missing family members of all ages. And whereas, according to the Alzheimer's Association, 6 in 10 people with Alzheimer's or dementia will wander and may become lost, a frequent and frightening challenge for their caregivers and families. And whereas, in 2007, Colorado Governor Bill Ritter signed House Bill 07-1005 into law, which expanded the Silver Alert program for senior citizens to include people with developmental disabilities, to connect caretakers with their law enforcement officials who can use the reach of the radio and television stations and other media to alert the community. And whereas the awareness of citizens, media, and law enforcement, as well as their support, their efforts, and their search for missing persons must continue. And whereas the public plays a critical role in the success of the Amber and Silver Alert programs, they become the eyes and the ears of law enforcement and can be on the lookout for the missing person. And whereas the common misconception that a person must be absent for at least 24 hours before being legally classified as missing is dangerous. When there is evidence of violence or of an unusual absence, it is critical that an investigation begin promptly. And whereas new advances in technology must be utilized and made available to locate the missing, and whereas the state of Colorado is committed to the safety and well-being of its citizens, both children and adults, and whereas the designation of Missing Persons Day in Colorado will firmly embed the importance of missing persons and their families and friends in our state calendar and will raise a level of awareness with other cities and states that have already designated a Missing Persons Day. And whereas the designation of Missing Persons Day in Colorado offers a platform to plan events that will connect families with resources to help identify and find their long-term missing loved ones. And whereas the designation of Missing Persons Day in Colorado will ensure that the families and friends of the missing know that they are not alone in this tragedy of uncertainties and lack of closure, which leads to extreme suffering and long-lasting effects on the health, finances, and relationships of those left behind. And whereas every missing person is someone's son or daughter, father or mother, brother or sister, partner or friend, and every missing person deserves to be searched for and found. Now therefore be it resolved by the Senate of the 71st General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that we, the members of the General Assembly, recognize the epidemic of the missing in America as the silent mass disaster and empathize with the ongoing suffering of the families and friends of those who are missing, that we recognize the importance of raising awareness of the numbers of people who go missing in Colorado each year, that we applaud the committed efforts of families, law enforcement agencies, and concerned citizens who work to locate missing persons, that we encourage the continued support of worthy initiatives and private and public programs to increase efforts to locate missing persons, and that we hereby designate February 4th of each year as Missing Persons Day and support the goals and ideals of the day.
Members, thank you. You may be seated. And let me, before I recognize Senator Fields, we love children in here, and the sounds of children, and we do want you to stay. Please stay. Senator Fields.
Thank you, Mr. President. And it's an honor to be one of the co-prime sponsors on this joint resolution. I want to thank the family members that are here today because it reminds us here in this body that we will never forget your loved ones. When I think about a missing person, it could be an adult, it could be a child, it could be just someone that you love. When there's a missing person that's no longer there with you, you carry a very special and unique burden. It's different than other crimes, like I'm thinking about murder, for example, because sometimes we know what happens. We know how that crime was committed. But when someone is missing from your family and you do not know their whereabouts, it leaves an emptiness inside because you're always wondering, where are they? What happened? And a lot of times we fill that space with all kinds of different images because missing person's family, you just don't know oftentimes those circumstances. I can tell you that the state of Colorado has a very strong cold case unit, that we take missing persons incidents very seriously. So I'm here today to say, don't give up hope. You're not alone. But your hope is not just in the criminal justice system or in the law enforcement agencies to search and find what happened. The hope is also in the lives of the folks that are around you. The hope is in that sister and brother and mother and father, the people who are left behind, who are always struggling with not knowing the answers to that missing person. My heart breaks for you, and I yearn for answers for you. But I empower you never, ever give up hope. I've seen circumstances, you probably have too, on the news media where all of a sudden someone shows up. They've located that missing person. I do not know the circumstances regarding your missing person and that loved one. I don't know. But I had a chance to greet many of you, and I see the pictures, and some of you shared with me the person has been missing for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, maybe a year or two. But I can tell you that the pain doesn't go away. There's always that ache that you have to live through. And so I'm encouraging to push through the other side and find your hope in the loved ones that you surround yourself around. So, Mr. President, I'd like to ask that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors.
We will do that in a little bit. Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, I agree with you completely that as this was being read, that baby crying over there, what it did is it showed it was perfect timing, you know, to show that all of our hearts cry for this type of situation. I thought I would come down and tell you a quick story. Before I was a senator, I was a veteran service officer, and I've had direct experience with this. We had a young man that actually disappeared from his family off the face of the earth upon his return from Southeast Asia, and he was missing for 25 years. And, you know, the family came to me as a last kind of a resort to try and find him, and I did find him. You know, it took about a year to get them back together. But I guess the point I'm trying to make here is we should never give up hope. And regardless of what the circumstances are, you know, the separation of those loved ones is a serious issue. But I just, you know, I just wanted to come down and share that with you briefly and to tell you how much I support this, and our hearts do go out to all the family members that are involved in this. Thank you, Mr. President.
Would you please add the president to the roll? Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of the Missing Persons Day resolution. Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, no noes, no absent, 2 excused, Missing Persons Day resolution is adopted. Now, Senator Fields.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors for Senate Joint Resolution 18004.
Seeing no objection, the current roll call will be added as co-sponsors. Senator Fields.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. In honor of the brave family members that are here who have never forgotten their missing person family members, I would like to invite all of the members here on the Senate chamber's floor to stand and just give everyone here today a warm applause, please. Thank you, colleagues, and Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Fields. Third reading consent calendar. Mr. Carpenter, would you please read all the titles to the bills on the third reading consent calendar?
Senate Bill 67 by Senators Zenzinger and Priola and Representatives Kraft, Tharp, and Van Winkle, concerning the ability of certain organizations conducting a special event to auction alcohol beverages in sealed containers for fundraising purposes under specified circumstances. Senate Bill 105 by Senator Baumgartner and Representative Pabon, concerning clarifying changes to provisions that were contained in House Bill 17-1367. Senate Bill 76 by Senator Lundberg and Representative Melton, concerning a ban on vote trading.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move all of the three bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar consisting of Senate Bill 67, 105, and 76.
Is there any discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I come down to speak on Senate Bill 76. And I'm an aye vote on Senate Bill 76, being on the consent calendar and all. I just wanted to, for the record, let everyone know why I am voting aye on this bill. So the title is Concerning a Ban on Vote Trading. And I'm not completely sure that this bill is necessary. I'm not completely sure that it's actually constitutional. I've looked at a couple of court cases where this, if it were challenged, might not stand up in court. However, as I said, I'm going to vote aye on this because I don't think people should trade their votes. I've never done it. I've seen it done on social media before. And I'm not sure all of the different circumstances that people might do this, but the only situation I've seen it done is for presidential elections. And again, perhaps it's done in other circumstances, but the only time I've seen it done is in presidential elections, especially close presidential elections, and people in swing states are trading votes with people in non-swing states. And what that highlights to me is that the presidential electoral college system is broken. If the result of that system is to have the Colorado Senate running a bill and passing a bill concerning a ban on vote trading, that we even have a problem on vote trading, I think highlights a problem in our presidential electoral college system. So that is why I'm sure everyone has their own reasons for why they are voting the way they are on this bill, but that is why I am voting aye on this bill, is to highlight the problem we have in our presidential election system.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is a bit unusual to come down and speak on bills that are being considered under consent calendar, but being the prime sponsor of the bill, I believe a little bit of explanation should be appropriate given the discussion we've heard thus far. Vote trading, it's true, has the greatest applicability when it is between states, but this is not a discussion, nor is it a statement one way or the other on the Electoral College. And indeed, the Electoral College is a mechanism whereby the states elect the President of the United States. And that's a discussion for another day. But the concern is that with the advent of so much technological ability of people communicating back and forth and literally connecting with somebody on the other side of the country and figuring out some scenario for instead of voting as their vote in their legitimate place of residence, that it somehow can affect in other states is the concern. And it's very closely tied to the federal or the ban on federal elections of buying votes. You cannot offer anything to somebody of value for their vote, of monetary value. Well, their vote is something of value as well, but that isn't covered under the federal limitation on buying votes for something of value. So vote trading is to simply follow in the same tradition and principle of one voter, one vote, and it's their vote. I'm supporting Senate Bill 76 because it's a good idea that needs to be passed. Thank you very much.
Seeing no further discussion, with a vote of 33 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 67 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Majority Leader Holbert, Senator Marble, Senator Cook, Senator Scott, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Lambert, Senator Priola. Mr. President, Senator Neville, Senator Crowder, Senator Tate, Senator Kerr, Senator Fenberg, Senator Fields, Senator Jones, Senator Donovan, Senator Court, Senator Williams, Senator Todd, Senator Guzman. Please add the President. With 33 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 105 is adopted. Please add Senator John as a co-sponsor to Senate Bill 67, as well as Senator Merrifield. Co-sponsors on Senate Bill 105. Senator Holbert, Senator Tate, Senator Crowder, Senator Marble. Mr. President, with 33 aye votes, 0 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 76 is adopted. Co-sponsors, Senator Holbert, Senator Scott, Senator Marble, Senator Tate, Senator Smallwood. Mr. President, Senator Neville, Senator Cook, Senator Kafalis, Senator Fenberg. Please add the President. Who else you see? Senator Todd, Senator Kerr, with 33 aye votes, 0 no votes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 69. Whoopsie. How about we just move past that area? I'm sorry. I was just going down through the list. Mr. Majority Leader, third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Carpenter, please read the title to Senate Bill 69.
Senate Bill 69 by Senators Holbert and Zinzinger and Representatives Garnett and Becker J. concerning enforcement of the statewide degree transfer agreements.
Senator Zinzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 69 on third reading and ask for an aye vote.
Seeing no further discussion, Senator Hill.
Thanks, Mr. President. Colleagues, I just want to say thank you to the sponsors for bringing this bill. We have a lot of discussion here, a lot of disagreement on what it looks like to bring down the cost of higher education. We've seen that go up and up and up, and this is one of those opportunities where we've had a law in the books to help control some of those costs, where if you do 60 hours at a community college, you should be automatically able to transfer over without, if you're not going to switch majors, and do 60 hours, so another 2 years, at an institute of higher education. And we've seen some creep in the requirements for the higher education side. And this is a bill that's going to kind of rein that back in and ensure that for all of our students who do this 2+2 program, 2 years at community college and 2 years at a 4-year, have the confidence that not only is their investment valuable, but the costs are going to be kept down, and that we will keep our promises. That a low-cost, affordable, high-quality education is still a priority for us here. So thanks to the sponsors. I ask for your support.
Seeing no further discussion, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 69. Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Senate Bill 69 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Tate, Senator Priola, Senator Scott, Leader Guzman, Senator Kafalas, Senator Fields, Senator Jones, Senator Lundberg, Senator Gardner, Senator Neville, Senator Marble, Senator Fenberg, Senator Cort, Senator Donovan, Senator Williams, Senator Todd, Senator Garcia, Senator Merrifield, Senator Kagan, Senator Lambert, Senator Hill, Senator Crowder, Senator Baumgardner, Mr. President, Senator Cook, Senator Moreno, Senator Kerr, any other co-sponsors? Please add the president. General orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. This is hard to say. Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for consideration of general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
Question before us is to resolve ourselves in the committee of the whole for the purpose of general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. Senator Garcia will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. The court rule is not relaxed. Will the clerk please read? The court rule is not relaxed. Will the clerk please read the titles of the bills on the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
Senate Bill 100 by Senator Neville and Representative Kraft, Tharp, and Van Winkle concerning disclosure of additional mandatory charges by motor vehicle rental companies. Senate Bill 46 by Senator Moreno concerning authorization to increase the minimum donation required to be issued a certificate that qualifies a person to be issued a group special license plate. Senate Bill 28 by Senator Scott and Representative Bridges concerning the repeal of certain requirements for where a license plate is mounted on a motor vehicle.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move all three of the bills on the general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar, consisting of Senate Bill 100, Senate Bill 46, and Senate Bill 28, along with the committee report from the Transportation Committee.
Is there any discussion on the committee reports? The motion before the body is adoption of all committee reports to the bills and general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the reports are adopted. Is there any discussion on any of the bills listed on the consent calendar? The motion before the body is the adoption of the bills on general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the body is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
Committee will come back to order. Senator Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee will begs lead reports out on consideration of the following task bills being the second reading thereof, makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 100, Senate Bill 46, Senate Bill 28 is amended, passed the second reading order and gross placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
The adoption, Senator Kerr.
Thank you, Mr. President. We do have a Committee of the Whole report amendment being printed right now, but I'll just let you know what it is. We would like to amend the report to say that the coat rule was relaxed.
Since I do not have an amendment on the desk, the question before us is the adoption of the report. Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, and 2 excused, the report is adopted. Senate Bill 100, Senate Bill 46, Senate Bill 28 as amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Go in regular seconds. Signing of bills.
The President has signed Senate Joint Resolution 3.
Announcements? Leader Guzman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wanted to announce this morning that a baby Democrat was born yesterday. And our Chief of Staff, Lisa Labriola, gave birth. I'm sure she's waving to us this morning, gave birth to a baby girl, and her name is Zoe. And as soon as she can, she will be registered Democrat in my district. So we're very pleased that she was blessed with good health. The baby and the mother are doing fine. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let's offer our congratulations. Absolutely. And it was a good thing she had it just before the weekend, so she would not, so Minority Leader Guzman would not have made her come back to work the next day. She will have till Monday now to. Other announcements, Senator Lundberg. Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Majority Leader.
Senatorial 5. Mr. President, Senatorial 5.
We will stand as Senatorial 5. Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, we will not have bills to read over later today, so we are going to go ahead and adjourn. If you are signed up for the workplace harassment prevention session later today, please remember that. Mr. President, I move that the Senate adjourn until 10 a.m. Monday, February 5th, 2018.
The motion is to adjourn until Monday. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. We stand adjourned until Monday. Thank you.